name's Carl, and I'd like to share a story with you about something that happened to myself and a friend on the 11th of January this year. We'd never used the Uber app in India before. Um, we was we was both in Delhi. My friend was flying back on the 11th of January very early in the morning, and we decided to download the Uber app and use it to book a taxi to travel to the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. Um, Mainly for sort of safety and reliability is one of the main reasons we used Uber rather than just trying to get a tuk-tuk or taxi from the street. Anyway, so our taxi arrived about 4 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before that actually, about 10 to 5 to. We took the taxi, and then on the way to the airport, we left the hotel we were staying at, just at the back of Delhi train station. Got him with a taxi driver. There was a few diversions. He seemed a bit clumsy in sort of his directions and where he was going, because he certainly wasn't following the sat nav, that's for sure. Anyway, moral of the story is we found ourselves on the motorway. We're driving along the motorway. I mean, the motorway was busy. We were certainly going 50, 60 miles an hour, if not faster. There was a lot of traffic, and just out of nowhere, just somebody appeared just in front of the car. Me and Gabby both noticed it straight away, and was a bit like, oh. And very last minute, we realised that the driver just had no concept of what was going on and what was in front of him. And before he could react, or before anything could happen, the driver just hit him, and he smashed into the window. Well, he just smashed into the car, smashed into the window screen, just glass everywhere. Went over the car, smashed into the back of the car, and the driver just kept driving, and myself and Gabby were just shouting at him like, "Stop! Stop! You need to stop! You've just killed a man. You just hit a man." But he just didn't want to stop. So, like, we were both panicking, we were both stressing. I just grabbed hold of the driver and reached for the wheel and just grabbed it and made him stop. But the way he stopped, he stopped almost diagonally, so hanging off the lane, so his arse end was still out in the lane. Now I got out of the car, Gabby stayed in the car. There was a lot of confusion of what was going on, etc. I was saying to the driver, I said, "Quick!" He's like, "No, it's okay, no, okay, come on, we go, airport. No, not okay, brother." And both of us were screaming this at him, like, it's not okay, you just killed a person. It didn't seem to bother him. I ran up the road, it must have been about 100, 150 metres from where we had stopped to the victim, and checked the victim. Like, there's a lot of controversy whether he was dead or alive or still alive, or had we left him alive. I'm 36 years old. I know enough about first aid to know if somebody's dead or not, and I can pretty much the guy was dead. The injuries that I saw to his head and to the rest of his body, like, there's no way the guy was alive. I checked for a pulse. I certainly didn't feel one, and like I say, the severity of the head injuries is why when we went back and when we spoke to the driver and I realised how the car was hanging off the back end, that we couldn't stay there. It wasn't safe for us. Gabby was stood in the car. Another driver could have easily come along and just smashed into her. Now, it's not like we just left that guy there. We didn't, because we were shouting and screaming at the driver to call the police, and he didn't want to. He just wanted to go and just leave the scene. We had no choice but to go with it, and we did. Gabby's still very upset in the back of the car, we've got to report this. I'm like, yeah, I know, let's just stay calm. We've seen that this man doesn't give a shit, so let's just play his game. As soon as we got to the airport, I jumped out of the vehicle and I reported it immediately to the security at the barrier gates. as soon as they saw me and Gabby out of the car, they saw the damage to the car, they saw the driver, they could clearly see that something was up. Yeah, I mean, we were both hysterical. The driver was just like, no, because we was telling him what happened, and he understood what we were saying, although he tried to pretend he didn't, and he was just no, and I'm sure he was just making up another crap excuse. And then a senior officer came over from the security, again saw the state of us and the state of the vehicle, and decided that, he gave us a security guard to take us to the police station. Even on the way to the police station, the driver turning into the road where the police station was, smashed into a curb and a post. Like, the guy was an idiot. He couldn't drive for crap. And he just didn't care. Like, even then, he just didn't care. We got to the police station, and when we got into the police station, we told them what happened. We was with the security guy. The security guy explained what happened when we arrived at the barrier. And the police and security's concern was about getting Gabby to the airport. She had a flight to catch and she had to check in. So a security guard assisted us going back to the road and arranged a vehicle to pick us up and take us to the terminal, where I took Gabby. We gave ourselves 20 minutes or so just to kind of calm down a little bit, talk to each other, which was very difficult at the time because obviously everything had just happened. So Gabby went on her way, and I made my way back to the police station. When I got back to the police station, the Uber driver was, first of all, he was in a holding cell. Within 5 minutes of me being there, he was out of the holding cell. Even when he wasn't holding cell, he had his mobile phone with him. The police asked me to write a statement. They asked me for loads of details, etc., where it happened, when it happened, what happened. I told them everything, as I did in the statement, as I did to them face to face. I repeatedly said to them, and the same before to the security, like, what about this guy? You know, there's a dead person laying on the side of the hard shoulder on the motorway, and you're just leaving him. Somebody needs to go there. Standard, you know. Nobody did. Nobody picked up the phone. Nobody cared about it. All that was cared about was what was going on at that time in that police station. I gave my statement. When I was writing my statement, I was writing it at the desk of the officer, and the taxi driver then at this point came out. On more than one occasion, he tried approaching me to apologise, saying like sorry, and it was just infuriating me. I was like, there's no sorries here. Please just get away from me. I removed myself from the area and set myself a little bit further back and carried on finishing my statement of everything that had happened. Now, when I've gone back to the police, I'm talking to the police, I'm saying something like a statement, they're asking me for contact details, I didn't have an Indian SIM card or phone number, etc. The guy's still on his phone, the police are talking between him, I took another phone call with somebody else who spoke some broken English. I knew enough Hindi at that time to understand the word ketna, which is how much. Simple. And that word was used. And then when it was tried to use with me, whether that be the driver or the policeman, because the driver was saying that as well. Now I could be wrong, and they could have been talking about how much for the fare, the taxi fare, of which he actually asked me for as I was leaving the building. But still, like, something wasn't right. The driver was way too confident and way too cocky. He was walking around on his phone like he owned the place. You know, he even sort of had a little smile of confidence with the police when he asked me for my taxi fare. Something wasn't right. This is when I then went outside and I took pictures of, well, firstly I took a picture of my statement, and I also took a video of the driver when he was on the phone, because I just didn't trust what was going on. I was hoping I'd be able to catch something being said on that phone call that would incriminate him and potentially his employees as to what was going on. At the end of the day, this was a cover-up. We reported it. The police ushered me out of the police station. I asked for a crime reference number. I explained I need something for my insurance, etc. Just for a future note in case I needed to. They gave me nothing. They said nothing. I gave them, in the end, an email address. I said, well, then can somebody just contact me, and I will go to any police station within Delhi, and I'll speak to somebody else later on in the day. This never happened. I never received any email from the police. There was no follow-up. I reported it to Uber on the Saturday, and all they wanted to know on 1 or 2 phone calls was what happened, the story of what happened, of what I've just told. They didn't follow up. Like, for 3 weeks I spent in India. I ended up travelling up to the north, and everywhere I went, all I could see was just the image of this guy, this person, just being ploughed over, run over, and then just left for dead on the street. It played on my mind for 2-3 weeks, and in the end I came back to Delhi because I didn't feel safe. Once I'd realised that the police were involved in this, Uber were involved in this, because obviously I'd reported it to Uber. Uber had done no follow-up at all. Quick to pass on to their insurance, or his insurance, and take no responsibility. But the fact is, I told them on the 13th of what happened. I gave them every single information of what happened, and nothing was done. So for 3 weeks in India I could do nothing. I was trying to get the story out, I was trying to tell people, and nobody would listen to me. So in the end I found myself going to, when I was back in Delhi before I flew, because I changed my flight to come home early, because I just didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't feel safe, I didn't feel confident around people, and just, to be honest with you, it's just constant reminders of what had happened. So I reported it to the consulate to ensure that there was an official log done, and then I flew home. When I flew home, I had pretty much a mental breakdown on the plane as well, which hasn't helped me at all, and it has affected me in a great deal of different aspects. And why didn't the police file a report? Why wasn't I given a report? Why didn't Uber follow it up? And why have I had to come back to England and create such a storm, such a barrage of social media tweets and shares, and to try and get this story out before anybody would listen? And those people that should have been listening was Delhi Police and Uber, and they didn't. They've ignored it, thinking that I would go away. Well, no. Delhi Police and Uber, I won't go away. I've come back to England for my own safety and sanity, and to try and pursue this. And there needs to be justice for this guy. I don't care if he was the richest man in the world or the poorest man in the world. The fact is, he got ploughed down on the street and just left, with no disregard by the police, by Uber, by the driver, by nobody. And now they deny knowledge, they deny it never happened. The evidence is overwhelming. You've got photos, you've got videos, you've got the reg, you've got everything. People say, why didn't we use the SOS button on the app? It's the first time we'd used the app. We'd never used it before. We'd literally downloaded it, booked a taxi, that was it. Like, we generally had no idea that there was an option on there. Why didn't we call the police at the scene? We had no mobile coverage. We had no India mobile. That's why we had no choice but to go with the driver and to get to the airport to report him, thinking that we could trust in the authorities at an international airport, but nothing done. And it's had to come to this for people to start listening and to see what's going on. I understand, this excuse of, but it's India, That doesn't make it right. Does that mean I can go to India, rent a car and just kill somebody? It's fine. No worries, brother. It's fine, just kill him. It's okay. Yeah. No, it's not okay. That's a human being who had a life, and I'm sure people were dependent on him. And the shit that it's put myself through and Gabby through, even right up until now, and even still after this, it isn't fair. And for it to just be pushed away and brushed away, no. This guy needs justice, and I'm really hoping that the nature and kindness of good people, such as the people that are helping me at the moment, that will be higher than the negativity and some of the crappy comments and negative. But it's India. I don't care if it's India. It shouldn't happen anywhere at all. So hopefully this story gets out, and hopefully that something will be resolved, and the driver needs to be arrested. The fact it's took him until now to only just sack him when it was reported to them on the 13th of January is disgusting. Uber should have followed this up. They should have investigated it. The only reason they're offering assistance in investigation now is because it's coming out now. Other than that, they wouldn't have bothered because they don't want the earache. Well, you've got the earache and you should have dealt with it then. This isn't going away. So I hope something gets resolved. Okay, thank you.